from the Richland Hills Public Library. I'm Miranda, the youth librarian, and this week we are learning all about monsters. It is a monster week. So for the craft that I have for today, whoops, there goes one of my necessary ingredients. Okay, for the craft this week, we are going to be making this cute little guy right here. Isn't he adorable? Of course, your monster can have 2 arms or 6 arms or whatever. He can have 2 eyes or 8 eyes or whatever you feel like doing. That's the fun of monsters, is they can look however you want them to. But that's what we're going to be making. Okay, so all of our supplies. So you're definitely going to need some yarn, some toothpicks. You don't have to use the pipe cleaner chenille sticks, but you can if you want to. Some of these supplies I've actually already used to make something with. I'll go into that in just a second. So we're not actually going to be using them, but I wanted them out so you could see what you would potentially need. So you will need a ruler. You may or may not need the popsicle sticks, and I'll explain about that in a second. Some scrap cardboard for making hands and arms and eyes and whatever else. I am going to be using a hot glue gun this time. I know that not everybody has one of these. They are fairly cheap at Michael's. Like this little guy, I think he costs like $5, and then a bag of the glue sticks costs maybe $3. So, you know, nice to have around the house for various projects. A pair of sharp scissors. The sharper the better. So, of course, you are going to want parental help with this one because sharp scissors makes all the difference when you're doing various parts of this project. Some sort of Sharpie or something like that. And I think that's it. Oh, and the bathroom cup. That's important. That's the body of our monster. Okay, so let me talk about this. So you are going to need something that is fairly sturdy and is approximately 4 inches long by 2.5 inches wide. Mine's a little bit bigger than that, but something approximately that big. The thing that I found online recommended just using cardboard, but what I found, and you may or may not be able to see it in the ridges here, what I found is when I just used cardboard for this part, the cardboard started to crumple. And we don't want it to do that. So I reinforced my cardboard with popsicle sticks, and that worked a lot better for me. So you're going to need something sturdy, approximately that size. Then we are going to take our yarn, and I probably should have brought something to keep the yarn from rolling off the table, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and just unravel a whole bunch of it to start with, although it may not be enough. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to wrap our yarn long ways across our sturdy whatever it is. We're going to wrap it. I think for our friend that I already made, I think I did it 200 times. I'm going to try 150 this time and see if that makes a difference. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. I learned this when I made the first one. Go ahead before you get started and cut off, I would say about 12 inches. That's probably not exactly 12 inches of string, and lay it across this way. You will be glad you did later. So just kind of let that dangle, and then start your string kind of in the middle. And we don't want, that's probably going to get in the way. I probably made it too long, but that's okay. We'll deal. All right, so about 150 times, all right? So this could take a little while. Usually what I do is I don't count the first wrap around, and then right here, I say 1. Okay, so that is approximately 150. You could always do it a couple of times more just to make sure that you've got what you need, but I'd say that's pretty good. So you don't have to tie it off or anything. Just go ahead and cut right about there. And then here's why you'll be glad that you put this in advance, because otherwise you have to string that through all the way through there. And if you do like I do and tie it really tight, then it's really hard to get that extra piece of string under there. So now we're gonna tie it off. And I seem to recall the last time I used this yarn. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a problem. Well, we will do our best. Okay, and you might need an extra pair of hands for this part, especially if you do what I just did, but I think I can get it. We just need a second knot, but we need it to be as tight as possible. Okay. All right, I think I actually tied this one. That's okay, it's all good. Okay, so we are set. Maybe, hopefully, maybe let me try one more knot. I think I've got enough yarn left for that. Okay. All right, and you can go ahead and trim that if you want to. It's not absolutely necessary. Okay, so once you've got your knot on this side, you're going to turn it around to the other side, and then obviously even with a pair of sharp scissors, you can't cut all the way through that. So just in small little segments, about midway through the yarn, as much as possible anyway, you're going to start cutting them. And you can kind of pull away as you do. There we go. Okay. So, you're gonna have something that looks kind of like that. And we're gonna kind of fluff it up a little bit. Okay. So, here's where our cup comes in. Now, what I like to do is kind of position it first. And then I can kind of see what it's going to look like. Oops. All right, and once I'm kind of happy with how the yarn is draping around the edges, I can take it off. And then now I'm going to put down as much glue as my glue gun will let me. Mine is a low temp, so it tends to dry pretty fast, so I gotta be careful. All right. Okay, so you press that down. And the way that mine usually works out is that, as you can see, my monster's hair is a little bit lopsided. But that's what your nice sharp pair of scissors is for, is you can go back along and you can kind of give your monster a haircut. Trim him up a little bit. Okay. All right, now to give just a little bit more of a shaggy appearance, we're going to use our little device here one more time. So we will prep our yarn again. This time, you're going to use the short side to wrap your yarn. We're gonna go ahead and cut ourselves another piece for tying. I may have cut that a little too short since it has a tendency to break, but we'll find out. Okay. All right, so again, you go ahead and start it. And then for this one, we're gonna do about, let's go with 30 and see what happens. So about 30 rounds of this. So there's one. Okay. Trim that off. Oops. I can get that to stay while I'm doing this. And if it doesn't, that's okay. That's what the scissors are for. Okay, and again, try to tie as close to the middle as you can. It's not always possible, but you know. Okay. Go ahead and trim. And then just like last time, here on the other side, you're just going to cut through your yarn bits as close to the center as possible. All right, and now And what you can do, I didn't have a lot of extra yarn to work with, but you can totally make the top toupee of your monster in a different color if you want to. So if you have solid colored yarn, you know, you could have black long hair and then your toupee could be multicolored, and that might look really awesome. All right, so once you kind of got it positioned and how you like, then go ahead and pull it back off. And we'll add some of our glue. Just for reference, I usually, with this small glue gun, I usually go through about 2.5 glue sticks doing this project. But it does depend on how much decoration you do and how you add your decoration to your monster. All right, so from here, technically, your monster is finished. He could be a Cousin It type monster. Maybe he doesn't have any arms or legs or antennae or eyeballs or anything like that. But I am going to show you how to do some of the stuff that I did on my other monster. So, let's see. For the eyeballs, or your antennae, if you want to make them antennae, I just used colored toothpicks. And this part is really great because you actually don't have to put the toothpicks, you don't have to glue them in. You can actually just kind of poke them down through your cup. And they stay all on their own, which is fantastic. So this time around, last time I used them for eyeballs, but this time I think I'm just going to leave them as antennae. And then what you can do, since I'm not putting my eyeballs up on top of my monster, let's draw some eyeballs. We'll do scary eyes. Maybe. They may not be scary. More like cat eyes. I forget the camera's there. Sorry. All right. So once you have your eyeballs, cut them out of there. And you can do this project with other kinds of glue. Hot glue just makes it go so much faster. It's a lot less messy. So there are benefits to using hot glue as opposed to like Elmer's glue, but you can use Elmer's glue if you want to. Okay, I'm actually gonna put my eyeballs on, let's do it on this side so that y'all can see what I'm doing. All right, so the hot glue, even though it's low temp, is still very hot. So I'm gonna try to be really careful because this paper is really thin. All right. All right, so we just add one eyeball there. Oh, just like that, ow. So that eyeball went down not quite where I planned for it to because I burned myself. But there you have it. I have an antennae eyeballed monster. Of course, I can add other eyeballs, maybe smaller ones down below, or I could add a monster nose. And you can even, you know what, let's do one more thing to our monster because I'm curious how it would look. You can add feet. Let me see. Let's do kind of Bigfoot feet. Oh, I'm running out of paper. Okay. And the feet and the eyes might be better done on cardstock, but this is just what I had readily available, so this is what we're going to use. Okay, and I think I'm going to just glue these feet to the rim of the cup and see how that works. The hair might get in the way. I didn't think about that. But we'll try and see. And that's, of course, something that's much easier to do with hot glue gun as opposed to Elmer's glue. Okay. Let's see if I glue them like right there. Yeah, you should be able to see the feet. Okay. So right along there. Okay, so we flip him over, and they're not super obvious, but they're there. So we have our monster with his lovely little monster feet. And again, just, so I forget, I don't know what order she airs these videos in, but both of our monster craft videos this week can be used in kind of a sciencey math kind of way because you can roll a die, which I don't have on the table at the moment, that's okay, but you can roll a die, or if you don't have any, you can print off a template from online, like I had to do. And that die can tell you like how many feet you're gonna have, or how many eyes you're gonna have, or how many antennae, or arms, or legs. It can tell you all of those things, and it makes it kind of a fun counting game at the same time as having a cool craft for your monster. All right, I think that's everything. Thank you so much for tuning in today for our fun yarn monster craft. I hope you had fun. Don't forget to take pictures of your creations. This can count towards your monster mission. So just when you do your monster, take a picture, upload it to the Summer Reading Club website, and you can get a bunch of points that can be spent on really cool fantasy themed Summer Reading Club prizes. So don't forget to do that. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope y'all have a good day.